What's going on, you guys? Full steer, and I'm back with another video. Today's video, I'll be doing an in-depth Vi jungle guide. This guide has been requested quite a lot actually, so if you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit the thumbs up below. Help me get this video out there for more people to see. I would definitely recommend you to play Vi, by the way. She is a pretty good champion right now, and with the right build setup and playstyle, really, you can definitely get very far with Vi. She doesn't really require too many mechanics, it's just a lot of basics you gotta understand, but yeah. I would recommend her, actually. So, let's get right into it then. This is the rune page I would use on Vi. I would go for the Electrocute rune with Sudden Impact, Zombie Ward, and Ravenous Hunter. The reason I set it up this way is because the Electrocute will just, and the Sudden Impact combined, pretty much just make sure you do as much damage as you possibly can with your Q auto attack E combo, and then maybe follow it up with an ultimate if necessary or anything like that. It's going to be the highest burst damage you can get, and that's really what you want to look for on Vi. It's all about just getting that burst damage on someone you're ganking. So let's say you walk into a lane, level 4, level 5, who knows, and you hit someone with the Q, any laner, auto attack E, it's going to be like half their health with the Sudden Impact and the Electrocute combined. Also, if you have a little bit of attack damage, that works really well, because attack damage scales really well with Vi, because she has such great AD scaling. So really what you want to look for is as much burst damage as you can. Then of course Zombie Ward, even though this is the new patch and Zombie Ward has been nerfed, it's still just insanely good for vision control and all of that. So really just want to go for Zombie Ward, and then I end this off with Ravenous Hunter on Vi. I would say Ravenous Hunter is your best option on Vi, mainly because of the fact that you deal a lot of damage with abilities. So your Q, your ultimate, all that, you're gonna heal a good amount from that, and that's gonna make quite a lot of difference in like close fights. I wouldn't say that Relentless Hunter is bad, because it's definitely still viable. It's a lot of movement speed you can get out of combat, plus it works really well with your Q and charging it, so I can see that work as well. But I wouldn't stray away from Ravenous Hunter really, because it's gonna give you a lot of extra sustain that you wouldn't otherwise have. You're not really building any sustain either, so having that little bit of sustain from Ravenous Hunter is gonna clutch out a lot of fights. It helped me in quite a lot of Vi fights as well, just having the Ravenous Hunter right there. So yeah, I would definitely go for that. And then to finish this off in the secondary tree, I go for Triumph and Coup de Grace. Now, Coup de Grace did get nerfed again this patch to 7%, but it's still an insane rune to get. 7% extra damage on targets below 40% is really good. That's like a good amount of added damage to that. So I would definitely still pick that up, because you're really looking to burst people down on Vi. You're just gonna go Q, auto attack E, boom, half their health gone. Your Coup de Grace starts kicking in. It's really that way. And then Triumph is to help you sustain. As soon as you dive in, it's 12% of your missing health. So if you get like decently low, you get a good amount of health back, and then this can help you definitely clutch out fights as well. This is definitely the rune page and rune setup I would recommend you to go for. Some people might think maybe press the attack, or what about other runes on Vi? There's really no other rune option on Vi, because nothing else is really that good. Press the attack doesn't work too well on Vi, because you have your Q doesn't proc one of the press the attack hits, so it has to be auto attack. So you can auto attack E auto attack, but it doesn't really mesh well with your combo, not as well as Electrocute does anyway, so I would definitely recommend you go for Electrocute. Any other rune, really, not that beneficial. I guess Aftershock could be decent, but it's nothing compared to the Sudden Impact and Electrocute combo you can get right here. Just straight up combo. This is the best setup you could go for, honestly, and really no changes. If you have questions on something, maybe, then always put them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer those for you. Now, let's get right into the item build. Right, so starting off, it's a pretty basic start. It's the Hunter's Machete. You auto attack a lot on Vi, so plus you have auto attack resets. So really, just Hunter's Machete is the one you want to go for, like straight up. Nothing changes there. And then a refillable potion. You don't really need any health potions on Vi to help you clear, because she has such a healthy clear. With her passive, like her passive gives her a good amount of shielding while she uses abilities on like camps and such. So she gets a good amount of HP from that, and that pretty much blocks all the damage from the camp, because of the fact that you just kill your camps really fast as well. Your smites are enough sustain, but then just having that extra refillable potion throughout the game is very nice, so that's definitely what you want to go for. Starting items, pretty straightforward. Now, main item you want to go for first is obviously the Warrior Jungle item. This comes in the form of Blue Smite and Red Smite, really. I guess you could also go the this smite as well in certain situations. In most games on Vi, though, I would definitely recommend you to go with the Blue Smite, because it just synergizes really well with your kit. Especially if you build a little bit more damage on Vi, you go for one-shot potential. Blue Smite helps you with a lot of one-shot potential. You can use it with your Q, hit your Qs, all that kind of stuff. It's very beneficial to go for Blue Smite on Vi, in my opinion. Another option, though, is Red Smite. If you're facing more tanky comps, like really heavy tank comps, you can go for like a different type of build setup to counter tanks a little bit more. And then you can go for the Red Smite instead, because Blue Smite's not going to be that effective against tanks. And yeah, just overall then Red Smite would be more beneficial. But in most games right now, you're not finding too many tanks. So overall, I would say Blue Smite's your best option. And I'm going to stick with that for now, but you know when to go Red Smite now. Red Smite's pretty much if you're facing like tank top, tank jungler, maybe a tanky support. Those types of situations, Red Smite can be very beneficial for you. Also, more tanky mid laners could be considered in that process as well. So let's say you have like a Vladimir mid lane or something. Then he's quite tanky as well, so in those situations, you're really not going to get much from Blue Smite Burst. Now, boots options. There are 2 options, maybe 3 in my opinion, but the third one is kind of questionable. If you're going for, like, Blue Smite damage type build, I personally really like Swiftness boots on Vi, because of the fact that you get slowed down so much when charging your Q. So if you combine, like, Swiftness boots with the extra smite here and all that, and then also the next item after this, then you can really make up for a lot of the movement speed lost with your Q, so you can easily catch people with your Q, and then that way you are able to one-shot them a lot more easily and just get a lot more kills, really. Because the slowdown is very impactful, and if you can counteract that a bit, then it's very good. Also, it's just, like, slowing effects are reduced by 25%, so that scales really well with everything. So this is a very good boot option if you're going a more damage-heavy route. If you're not, then, I mean, if you're going more of like against tanky comps, as I just mentioned, then it's actually very good to go for the Ninja Tabi or maybe Mercs again, but most of the time Ninja Tabi is just the one to go for because it blocks more damage. It's just straight up tank boots. It's gonna provide you with a little bit more sustain in fights if you're not really going for that one-shot potential. So in those situations, Ninja Tabis would be another boots option. Again, the third boots option would be the Mercs, but I wouldn't really have any situations of games where I'd go Mercs, because you can cancel out a lot with just maybe queuing somebody and surprising them or ulting or something like that. So yeah, this is like straight up first. And then on like, I actually might just split this up. Make it a little bit more clear. So I'll just do this. On more of a damage heavy route, I go for a Ghostblade at this point. This synergizes really well with the kit. You're boosting your movement speed up a lot. You can use the Ghostblade active with your Q combined, so you can definitely get the charge in faster. And you're not going to get slowed as much, so this can be very good for like catching people and all that kind of stuff. So this is a very high damage heavy build. This is the really one that I want to look to get a lot on Vi. I got this like type of inspiration from this build from Super Metroid. He is a Challenger Vi player in NA, I believe it is, in NA. But after like playing with the build around a little bit and the way he plays his Vi, I would definitely recommend you guys to go for this as well. If you're a little bit more experienced on Vi, then this is definitely just gonna help you carry really easily. If you can get going, if you play it well, definitely just Ghostblade combinations. You're gonna one-shot, you're gonna literally obliterate people with the Ghostblades at this specific setup. You'll see it in the gameplay because the gameplay is with that specific build. And you'll see just how much damage it actually does and how much like carry potential you get. Also, FYI, the gameplay is in like low to high diamond. It's kind of fucked up right now because of the system right now with the reset. But it's like against good diamond players, diamond 3, diamond 2, or whatever those types of players. It's the gameplay. So for those of you guys wondering, you'll see this build go into action at the high elo. So yeah, that's pretty much the one we're gonna go for. And then honestly, on the tanky one, there are a few options, but usually like a Trinity Force build, Triforce build really is what you want to look for. It's a kind of a very safe damage item that you can just pick up. It's much like safer of a pick than going for Ghostblade. And yeah, nothing else to really say about that. This is also like Triforce with like more tanky is more advised for maybe starting Vi players. You could also just start off with this build if you really want to, but this is a little bit safer. It makes you a little bit more tanky, especially as the build goes on. So you can definitely get used to Vi's mechanics a little bit more and don't have to do everything so perfectly in order for it to work out in your favor. So that's maybe up to you. But this is core builds for both, so this is like a more damage heavy build, and then this goes right there. Now this damage heavy build is pretty much a straightforward path in pretty much all games, really, because you just go for the Trinity Force right after your Ghost Blade. It is high damage option, because also it gives you a lot of CDR as well. This gives you 10%, this gives you 10%, and this gives you 20%, which in the end means you have 40% CDR, and then that means that you will have your ult cooldowns really low, plus your all your cooldowns just 40% CDR reduced. Perfect, very beneficial. Gives you a lot of movement speed, gives you the Spellblade effect and the Rage effect for movement speed. Like, you can stick with people, you can one-shot them harder, all that kind of stuff. And then to synergize with that even more, and also make you a little bit more tanky into the later stages, you can go for Asterix after your Trinity Force. This is gonna give your machine proc even more, like, damage. Also, I'm not sure, actually, I should have looked this up before. I'm not sure what Vi's base AD is at level 18, actually. But I'm assuming you can get, like, a decent 60 extra attack damage from your Asterix Gauge if she has, like, 120. Yeah, it's just a very good item. It synergizes really well with the Triforce one-shot type of scenario. Also provides you with health, and then also the backup lifeline to sustain you if you're trying to get burst, or if they're like trying to burst you down or something like that. So it's a very tanky option. And then to finish that build off, you can go for the ultimate tank item, as I call it, the Stone Blade. It gives you literally everything you could possibly want on a tank item for 2,500 gold. So yeah, it's 40 armor, 40 magic resist base, but then if you dive in, you get 80-80, and then you also can activate the item to double your health, which is crazy good, because then you can pretty much become unkillable for just one item that costs you 2,500 gold. I would say there's not really much more of a value item than that. So this is really the build setup, the full build setup. You're focusing high damage early, so you can look to kill pressure people down, and then this build slowly transitions into, like, Trinity Force, a little bit more tanky of an item. Of course, it will give you a lot of extra stats, and a little bit more tanky of a Asterix item, and then the tank item itself, Stone Blade, and then you're pretty much good to go. Like, you're a very tanky Vi that does a lot of damage, and has easy catch potential on, like, enemy squishies if they are walking into janky situations. So that's the build I go for most games these days. Again, this build also, I gotta give a shout out here to Super Metroid. This is like an inspired from his build. I can definitely see this work. I've played it many times, and I would definitely recommend you guys to also play this as well. So yeah. And now the next build, it's very straightforward, really. It can kind of go down to the same situations here. It's just these three items. You can follow it up with a Asterix. It's a very tanky item to follow this up with. You can also get a Stone Blade here, but right now, you could really look to go for just straight tank items if your team needs a tank in this situation, because then you're going to be more tanky. You're still going to focus a good amount on damage early with your Warrior and your Trinity Force, but then just build more tanky if your team really needs that tank. This build is quite tanky, but not like a tanky. So if you really need a tank on your team, or like you're not doing too hot or anything like that, you can always fall back to going for straight tank and then making that work. So any items really, I mean, this is just pretty straightforward. Any items that gives you good tank stats, like a Random Winds against crit. You can go like a Random Winds Thornmill, again, like full AD comms. You can go Deadman's Blade to give yourself a lot of extra movement speed as well. Pretty much helping you with this same situation here to like counteract your slow cool, like the Q slow down, all that kind of stuff. There are so many options. Again, Stone Blade could be very good here as well. It's a very good tank item. Stone Blade is 2,500 gold. You get so many stats out of that Stone Blade. If you use the active properly, then, oh boy, it's really hard to kill. There's like, I mean, it's just tank items, man. If you have any questions, I guess, if you don't know how to just build tank items to counteract the enemy team, then you can ask them in the comments. I do my best to help them, to help you out with that. So this is like another option as well. Yeah, that's pretty much my Vi build. If you guys have enjoyed this video so far, please make sure to hit the thumbs up. It means a lot, helps me get this video out there and help those Vi players out, you know? So yeah, let's get right into the gameplay now. Alright, welcome to the gameplay section of this guide. As you can see, I'm playing Vi into a Twitch, which is actually a pretty common jungler right now in the preseason, because he's kind of snowball heavy and people are really looking for that. He impacts quite a lot of games. And since a lot of games are like kind of coin tossy, because the elos are so mismatched right now, he's actually good, because you can like really hard heavy snowball early game snowball junglers are really good right now, because they just they just take it out of control, and that's the way you can win it as a jungler right now. So definitely, at this moment in time, Twitch, I see him quite a fair amount. Now, Vi is definitely a very good pick into Twitch. The matchup is favored towards you if the Twitch doesn't get, like, an early cheese kill or something, because then it could go wrong. Also, I disconnected here from, like, Riot just decided, like, oh, let's close this League of Legends client down. So, I'll be back in just a second here. I'll just speed it up a little bit. Yeah, the matchup is pretty good for me. Also, if you see a Kassadin on the enemy team, it's a very good choice to actually go for a Vi at that point, because Vi is very good into Kassadin. He can completely lock him down. All you have to do is just hit him with a Q maybe, if you can, and if you can't, you can just ult him down as well, and then he can't really get away from you. You have enough damage to, like, pretty much one-shot him as well, so that's pretty good. Now here I start red buff. There are, like, 2 possible starts for Vi, really. It just mainly depends on what you actually want to gank first. If you're looking to maybe gank top/mid lane first, then starting bot side is probably not too bad, but in most situations, it's definitely worth ganking bot lane in this meta. So starting top side can be a better choice. It just depends. Like, you just have to look at your game and see what you want to gank first. This could be top lane, this could be bot lane, depending on what lane should be pushing what lane. But I started bot set this game to make sure that, like, I get my own red buff, and I cannot really get cheesed by the Twitch if he clears downwards or anything like that. Because I figured that if Twitch clears down, then his gank might fail or something, I don't know. But this Twitch made a really questionable play. But I figured this out later. But he made a really questionable play by actually going for his Raptor camp as well. So he got really low off that. Instead of going for like an early level 2 top lane gank, which is what it should have done on Twitch, he made a very strange play and went for something, I don't know. So that's actually very good for me. It puts Twitch in a really bad position. I was fully expecting the Twitch to gank top or mid really fast. But like right now, because he did his Raptor camp, it's the worst camp you can possibly do on Twitch. He just put himself in a really bad spot. Now here, I just cleared upwards. I cleared the 4 camps that are really easy to clear. Also, Vi with Scuttle Crab's very easy to do. All you have to do is hit your Q and you clear it really fast. So if you want to do Scuttles on Vi, that's definitely good because you do it so fast. It's literally just a Q auto attack E most of the time. Apart from the early game because you don't have that much damage yet. So now right here, this is, by the way, because of this matchup and because I figured he'd start red buff and then gank level 2 or maybe look for something like that. I figured his Raptor camp and his Croc camp were going to be up. That's also why I opted for this clear instead of from top to bottom. Because I was 100% sure, I mean, it didn't happen, but in my mind I was 100% sure that he does red buff, ganks top lane, maybe backs afterwards, and then goes to his bot side jungle, then ganks maybe bot lane or mid lane or something like that. So I figured his Raptor and his Crocs would be up. So if I clear this way, then I can be very efficient about it. I just have to hope and pray that no one dies to a level 2 Twitch gank, which didn't happen. Then I can take his Raptor camp and his Croc camp as well and, like, put myself a good amount ahead. And then after Croc camp, I can either gank top lane on the Jax or I can back and then make a play towards my Krugs and my Raptors and then full clear again. And at that point, I should hit level 6 pretty easily. Or I'm very close to level 6 at least. It's going to be a very fast level 6 if I do it that way, and that's very beneficial, but yeah. So here I'm just doing the Croc camp right now. Also, you have to remember that your Vi E will one-shot the small ones. So you can set everything up properly with your Q and everything like that. There you go. E just one-shots it and it's very easy. Now right here, this is a perfect situation. I cleared towards top side, so my gank should definitely be top lane as soon as I get the chance. Vi has a very easy time clearing, so I'm pretty much full HP, and this guy right here is like quite low, so it's a pretty free gank setup for me. This is a gank path he will not expect me to come from, so that's why I just walk past here. He goes on the gangplank. He walks the smart direction though, and then he flashes over the wall. Now right here, I didn't want to flash over, because if I flash over and maybe hit the plant and he hits the plant, for example, like right here, if I flashed this, I would have been instantly knocked back, which would have been a flash waste, and that's not worth it. So it's pretty much at this point, Jax is probably going to execute himself, but I'm not going to waste any summoners on that. I'm just going to let him waste his time, because as you can see, the wave's pushing into him, into the gangplank, so he can literally just freeze this. All gangplank has to do is just stand here, farm up, Jax will lose a lot. And then the gank's still worth it. He wasted his flash. I didn't necessarily have to go for the kill. I didn't want to waste my flash, like flashing onto a plant and I'm getting instantly knocked back. That's just not worth it. So yeah, right here I back with like 1,000 goldish, or actually no, 900 goldish or something. It would have been 1,000 if I got Twitch's Raptor camp, but it wasn't up. So I pick up a double longsword. I like to pick up double longsword boots on my first back on Vi. If not, then double longsword for 700 gold should be possible most of the time. The reason I do that is because Vi's AD scalings are amazing. Like, she has such insanely good AD scalings that picking up those double longswords will massively increase your clear speed, but also like 1v1 potential in gank and gank potential as well. So you have like a lot of one-shot potential on the enemy, like no matter who it is right now. That's the combination with that like double longsword electrocute early. And if you land your Q, you're pretty much just gonna one-shot anything. But as I said earlier, it's all about like jungle efficiency if you want to do things right. So I just clear the top side and I go back to my bot side jungle, clear everything again. He got executed to his camps. Holy shit, I didn't even realize that in the game. This guy does not know how to play Twitch, apparently. That is interesting, but yeah, whatever. So yeah, I just go to start my bot side jungle again, do a full clear again. As you can see, it's just all about being as efficient as possible. I'm not gonna hit level 6 here because the I was a little bit of experience short from his raptor camp. I think actually that might not have given me 6 either. Might have been like 50 XP off or something like that. Would have been really close. If I get the kill on Jax, then it would have definitely been enough experience. Usually with a clear like this, the way I just did it, it's very likely you can kill the top laner quite easily because you come from an unexpected direction. So if you face like a Twitch or anything like that, that starts its red buff where you get like vision on it, then you should be able to do it. Also, you don't even have to like invade him at all. You can also do like the 3 or 4 camp clear and then go top anyway and just gank, or mid lane for that matter, and it will just work out as well. Sitting on an 800 gold right here. I don't have too much mana, so I'm definitely just looking to calm down. What I want to do here is clear the Skull Crab still, because this will give me enough gold to probably buy my jungle item with boots. I think that's what I'm looking for here. Yeah, 950 gold is what I need, and that's what I want to back with. I don't have too much mana, but the Kassadin engages on the Zoe right here. I barely have enough mana for my Q. If I had a little bit more mana for my E right there, this guy would have died. But because I didn't have mana, like this amount of health would have easily been like gone. He just uses plan and teleports out, which honestly isn't too bad. He wastes teleport and flash for that, and I didn't really do any use anything major, so it's a good trade for me. We were just wondering where he went, but later we realized that he teleported. Now, Jax still gets a solo kill on Gangplank, which I find pretty impressive, because like Gangplank got a massive lead off the way that Jax had to die. So I don't know what happened there, but no big deal. How I think about it. If your laner dies, he dies. It's whatever. Gotta play the game for yourself, not your laners. Oh, I have something in my eye, dude. My god. And I'm backing with 1100 gold. That's gonna be my jungle item, I think, with my boots. Yep, there's the blue smite. Again, I mentioned this before as well, but I really like blue smite on Vi. The reason for it is because you can easily stick with people a little bit more, and just sticking with people is really good. You can also, like, get in range faster. You can use it with Q combination. You can do a lot of stuff with blue smite, and most of all, Vi is really a lot about burst damage, especially early game. It's a lot about just burst damage and one-shotting. So if you're going for like a more damage-heavy build, again, blue smite is probably your best option because of the fact that it just burst damage. But of course, red smite's busted as hell if you're going for the tanky route. Really tanky route. Alright, right now I'm level 6. I'm looking to kill Kassadin because you have to think about it like this. As soon as you get your ultimate, you pretty much want to use that shit on cooldown. So if you can get the Kassadin, for example, Zoes are very free gank. So if you like a Zoe on your team, Zoe's a very free gank. Now I know that the Kassadin would go for this. I do remember that I wasted my flasher, fat fingered it. So that's a feels bad moment. But I figured that I could get in position right here. Zoe is doing a really good job at actually baiting him in, as you can see. I was pinging on my way. So she baited him in. She presses this right here, but the Kassadin knows it's gonna go backwards. I know the same, so I charge up my Q. He's waiting on top of her. I didn't have to flash that. That was a fat finger flash. All I had to do was just Q like that. And then right here, I'm just making sure that I chain him down so he can't rift walk on Zoe. And then I also make sure I smite him to make sure he dies from that. Just to make sure, because, I mean, you don't need smite for anything. Your jungle clear is fine. You just QE camps and you one-shot them anyway. So anytime you go for a gank, just use your blue smite on the enemy champion. Even if it might be overkill, it's definitely worth just doing, because if you don't, then you could find yourself in a position where to get away with like 1 health, and you're gonna regret that you didn't use it. Now all my camps are up, so again, to be as efficiently as possible, I'm gonna clear all the way down. Just a full clear all the way down. Now right here, I kinda hesitate because I saw Gangplank get really low against the Jax, and if I figured if Jax would dive a lot further, if Gangplank lives a bit longer, then Jax will dive probably further, and then I can pick up a kill there. So I kind of like walked back a little bit, but then as soon as the Gangplank died, I just decided to go back towards my jungle camp. And then the Zoe just takes my camp. This is still burned in my mind. Fucking, oh god, I hate that so much. Like, why would you even do that? I even helped him out against Kassadin earlier, and he just steals my entire jungle camp. If you're a laner, guys, don't, like, if you steal your jungler's camp whilst he's doing it, then you're pretty much guaranteed a rage quit. Like, honestly, a lot of junglers will just, like, I'm gone, you know? I mean, on the one hand, it's really annoying, but on the other hand, I don't really care too much about it. I was a good amount ahead. I was playing pretty well. But yeah, don't do that to your jungler, man. That's, like, that feels so bad. If you're just doing a camp and then your laner just completely takes it. At this point, I was kind of triggered off that. I'm not gonna lie, but it moves on. I was doing pretty well this game, and I know that I can carry this one fairly easily, even though, yeah. I mean, on the other hand, Zoe was also flaming literally the entire game this one, so it's whatever. Now right here, Jax goes too deep. I see this. All I have to do is land my Q on him, does like a really good amount of damage, and my burst just pretty much straight up murders him. Electrocute damage, everything combined. Very free kill. That's the way you gotta play your jungle, by the way. You just have to play for yourself. Play to get yourself ahead, so make sure you gank at situations where it's good for you to gank. So if all your camps are down, like just now, all my camps were pretty much down. I was looking for something to do, maybe gank mid, maybe gank top. Jax went a bit too aggressive, so I walk top lane and then go for that. And then my Gromp respawns and I go back to clearing my entire jungle camps, as you can see. Making sure that I keep it, like, keep my pressure up and keep my farm going, so I keep my level advantage going. I mean, I'm level 9 right now. I'm on par with my solo laners, which is really what you want to look for. But that's really, really good for me. Now right here, Kassadin again engages on Zoe. He falls asleep, so I literally just go on him. I was pretty sure he's gonna rift walk back onto him. And as soon as I hit my Q and auto attack E him, I'm always gonna ult Kassadin because he has rift walk to get away from certain situations. So I just press my ultimate. It's not that bad of a cooldown, and it's definitely just worth using on Kassadin. This specific situation, he would have died to Zoe's ignite. But what can you do? Just better safe than sorry, that's what I always say. When it comes to those types of things, if you go for a gank like that, better safe than sorry. Now right here, just again, as you can see, I cleared from top down. I cleared as efficiently as I possibly could. Did a gank in between because I saw the Kassadin go aggressive on the Zoe. And that's like, that's a gank that's a good opportunity for me. So that's the type of gank you want to take, if you know what I'm saying. So that's what you want to really look for. Especially on like Vi, you can definitely get going. And if you build the way I build Vi right now this game, and the way a lot of like a good example is Super Metroid. He builds Vi similar to this. I'm not even sure if it's the exact build, but it's very similar to this. He goes like a lot of heavy damage in the early game with a good and he just plays quite the same way as I do, with just farming it up, and then as soon as you get the opportunities for something, you go for it, and you go for it. And that's just the way to play this champion, because if you don't do it that way, you can really easily fall behind. You're going to be forced to maybe a full tank roll, which is also going to put you in an awkward position. I mean, full tank's not bad at all on Vi, trust me, it's really not bad at all. But it's not as good as being able to carry yourself with a lot of one-shot damage potential. As you can see right there, I hit the Jax with the Q auto attack E, and he lost like 60-70% of his health bar to just me. Like, he got obliterated right there. That's the easy. If you can get going on this build, then you can just really go for it. Alright, here again, my ultimate is up in 2 seconds. So what am I doing? I'm looking for the freest kill on this guy. Because he doesn't have a chance to ult away. I can just go towards him. And we get this. I flash Q him to make sure I land the Q on him. I pretty much one-shot him myself, as you can see right here. Like, that's just a straight up damage you can get. And that's how you can really get it going. Alright, let me just go back here. So I start charging this from out of vision range from him. Zoe doesn't have Q up right now. So I just go in. As you can see right here, let me just hide this. I hit him, Q does that much damage, auto attack, E, boom. And that's literally just a Kassadin dead. And my ultimate finishes this off very easily. So I literally just one-shot him by myself. That's so good. If you can get to that point, then you're pretty much, at that point you pretty much know you can win the game off that point. Unless you really fuck up. But right now, I'm level 11. I'm doing pretty well. I'm out-leveling everything on the enemy team. I'm on par with my solo lane Zoe. Gangplank fell a bit behind, though. But that's mostly because he died quite a few times. So that's unfortunate, really. Yeah, I see the Jax again. Right there, just one combo, pretty much half HP's him. And right here, I made the sad mistake of, as you can see, wait, I'll show you guys. So I charge up. This would have been an easy clean kill for me if I didn't fuck this up. So right here, he's charging. I hit him with the Q. That does a serious amount of damage. Auto attack E, which is your main combo. Does half his HP. Then my electrocute just adds on top of that. Then right here, Jax is a scary champion to deal with because he has his dodge. So right there, I auto attack E him again. Auto attack, proc that, and then he gets his dodge off. But right now, as you can see right here, if I just smited him, if I just used my chilling smite on him, he would have died. And I would have been this healthy. He would have died from that easily because chilling smite does a good amount of damage to him. Can I see how much it does? Yeah, 108 true damage, 105 HP. I would have killed him, but I didn't use it. That's really silly, and then he just kills me in return because, I mean, he has a lot of damage. So that was a really big misplay on my part by not smiting him. That's always what I thought I could save my smite, and again, that's what I said earlier. If you're going for fights like that, please just use everything you can. Use your smite, use your ultimate if you have to. Don't hang on to things, because they're gonna be off cooldown again, and you can just easily play around them being on cooldown. It is better to secure the fact that you get the kill, and don't die for it. Because right here, yeah, something went wrong, and that's just not good for me. So here I have enough money for my Ghost Blade at this point. And that's gonna pretty much mean that I one-shot literally anything on the enemy team. Because my AD scalings are insane on Vi again, as I said earlier as well. AD scalings are so mental on Vi that going for like an early damage item like Ghost Blade is really good. Also, Ghost Blade synergizes very well with your Q ability. So that's pretty, yeah. Now here, I was expecting the Jax to jump on the Trist. The sad part here is though that the Trist ulted the Jax out of that, so kind of put me in an awkward position right there, because if I landed that Q on Jax, he would have died straight up to me. But right now I had to use everything else on him to make sure he still dies. It's an unfortunate event, but I get why Trist ulted, because he wanted to get the Jax off him. Still got Jhin tonight though, but that's all, whatever. Alright, here I'm charging my Q. I could potentially go for this Bard right there, and some of you guys might have just gone for that, but I saw in the corner of my eye this guy lurking around. And I figured, where is Twitch? Because they have a Twitch jungle, you have to respect that, so I don't know where he is. I could easily one-shot the Bard, but I'd opt to not go for it, because if they collapse on with like that, I would just straight up die, and that's not worth the trade. My life is not worth Bard's life at this point in the game. I'm way too strong for that, so yeah. Alright. We came out on that one, a 1-for-1 trade, which is not too bad for us at all. I'll take it. And again, my camps are up, so I'm just looking to clear them. Keep my camp clear going. I'm 114 CS, which is not the greatest, but it's really not that bad either. Yeah, Jax TP's bot lane. I apparently walked over a ward way too many times. My red's respawning, and Jax decided, alright, it's a good time for me to go for that. Right there, if I just queued the Jax, I probably would have had a chance at actually killing him. But then again, Jax has his dodge up, so he kind of just flanked me on that one and killed me. It's unlucky, but hey. It is what it is. Alright, here I have barely enough money to pick up my Sheen, which is a really great item to add to my burst damage. So right now, if I see like anyone on their team, I pretty much just one-shot them. The only one that has a fighting chance against me is the Jax because of his dodge. So he can block quite a bit of my damage just by pressing his E. If I play around that properly, then we're still good. Now right here, Twitch opens up. And all I'm looking to do is make sure I shut down the Twitch as soon as possible, so he can't get his ultimate going, because that's a very scary concept. So I charge up my Q, walk closer to him, and then just flash Q this guy. As you can see, a Q E just kills him straight up. Then I follow that up with ulting the Jhin. Bard does save Jin's life by ulting on us. And then Jhin made a very good play of just flashing my Q, because I was spam clicking my Q. We're gonna get out of Bard ult at the same time, so if we can see him down that way, then he would have died. But because he flashed, he survived that, which is a good play on Jin's part. Right there, as you can see, jungle clear easy as it is. If you have enough AD, then you can literally just QE any camp and pretty much one-shot that camp. Yeah. Cassidy was bot lane, we saw him. I was just going towards my other camp here, but trying to help Triss a little bit, maybe. My ultimate is off cooldown right now. I remember my ult being off cooldown at this moment in time, so I'm not sure why it's still on cooldown. It might be a spectator bug, because you can see right now I'm about to ult. Yeah, it was showed still on cooldown, but it was off cooldown right there. And then right here, just simply... This is just basic combo mechanics, really. You don't lead with your ultimate, please. If you can, do not lead with your ultimate. If you have to lead with your ultimate, then you have to lead with your ultimate, no choice. But right here, I don't have to lead with my ultimate. I see the Kassadin, I charge up my Q, I hit him with the Q. Auto attack, quickly E for the auto attack reset. He loses half his HP with my electrocute damage. I instantly press R on him because I know he's gonna rift walk away. You R him, you auto attack again, and then you E. And then he pretty much just dies from your next auto attack before he can rift walk away. Again, I had the blue smite here as well, but I'm pretty sure my auto attack would have gotten him there, so I didn't think I would have to use it, but his rift walk range isn't long enough to instantly get out of my range from smite, whilst he was right on top of me, so I could have always smited him for the backup right there. I'm currently sitting on 2,000 gold, which is very close to being able to pick up my Trinity Force. Not sure if I have it right now. I don't think I have it right now. Yeah, I don't think so. No, I just sell my potion for a phage to get something out of this. I thought like the fight was maybe gonna happen here. All I'm doing right now is charging my Q so Bart doesn't walk up. And then I stand in front of the gangplank so Jhin cannot ult him down. I was easily gonna be able to tank all of Jin's shots because I'm level 14. A lot of base stats I gained from that. I'm just highest level in the game because I kept my farm going. And I just... make sure my Q is charged still. You can use your Q as a really easy zoning potential as well. That's something you can remember here. No one really dares walking up, especially if you're ahead like me right now. No one really dares walking up to you whilst you're charging your Q. They're always going to be wary of that Q. So if you are maybe sieging for turrets, you could walk up a little bit and keep charging your Q. And then you can kind of zone people off turrets like that. You'll probably see it later in the game as well. I'm pretty sure I would have used that mechanic. Also, wave clear with this damage heavier build is very easy because you just QE any wave and you kill the wave easily. Your Q is probably going to kill the backline regardless, and then your E is going to clear up the other minions as well. Here, pick up a red buff. I saw the Kassadin in bot lane. Just clear some wards. Zombie ward OP, so by just clearing the ward, I get another ward for free. Keep charging my Q. I figured he would rift walk over, but if he like did some janky shit, then I could make that work as well. Whoa, leg spike. Right here, back to just clearing some camps, really. I just make sure that if your camp's up and you're right there, you might as well clear it. Alright, let me just go over this fight. So, clear this camp, standing to the side. Let me go to myself. And hide. So right here, I'm looking at the Jhin opened up, so I'm looking to instantly start charging my Q. I'm looking for targets. I see with the way I charge my Q, there's no way I'm gonna ever get to one of those two because my smite's on cooldown. Or my flash is on cooldown, really, rather. So I just hit the Jax with everything I can, do as much damage to him as possible, which is pretty much half his HP bar. Now right now, I'm just kind of waiting for my Q and my ult to get back here, so I just walk up a little bit more. Go for this. I hit the Bard with my Q right there, and then I instantly smite the Jax to kill him from that range, because it was in smite range, easy execute. So I get both kills like that. I pretty much do one-shot damage to the Bard with the Zoe damage. And off that, we still get simply get a Baron. So right there, I didn't want to lead with my ultimate into the rest of their team. I just wanted to play it back a little bit more. Go for whoever I can. And you have to consider that you're not that extremely tanky. And if you dive into one of the AD carries, then the other AD carry could open up onto you, and then he could fuck you up. So by playing it safe right there, I just stay back and hit whoever I can with Qs. Keep my ultimate as long as possible for a potential engage after a Q. You also have to consider that your ultimate can be used as another damage tool, because it does have a good AD scaling as well, as you can see right here. It does about 550 damage. It's not exact because it doesn't apply to armor yet, but it's about 550 damage, which is a really good amount of damage. I have Triforce here. I have my Jarm's Fist here, which goes into a Steric Jace, as I have mentioned before as well. It will synergize really well with just a one-shot build straight up. Also makes you quite tanky to burst damage as well. Not bad. As you can see, I'm 187 CS. That's what happens when you keep your farm up. Now right here, that's just straight burst damage, really. The Zoe makes him fall asleep. I just Q him, and then again there, I don't lead with my ultimate. Leading with your ultimate in most situations isn't good. Alright, let me just go back here a little bit. So he falls asleep here. I keep charging because Zoe hit the thing. I just charge my Q up. If they go through the bard wall, then that's also just gonna end up in going for a kill. And then as soon as I kill the Jax, I know that I'm pretty safe to just ult the Bard to get in range of him, make sure he doesn't get out. Bard's quite a slippery dude, so yeah. Just walking down. I didn't even realize Twitch was there, not gonna lie. I didn't even see him. So just walking down, going towards the dragon right here. There's no one that can really stop me at this point. I'm way too strong. I have flash up, so if they make like a cheesy play on me, I can charge my Q and flash Q someone and just one-shot anyone, really, because of the strength of this build and the strength of the one-shot potential of this build. Alright, here again, my camp's up, so I'm really looking to just clear this. No matter how far ahead you are, if you have an opportunity to get a jungle camp whilst you're walking past it, or whilst you're close to it, always get it, because it's just a lot of gold and experience you can get. Also, there was really nothing for me to bag for here. I have like 1100 gold. Don't particularly want to sell my control ward that quickly. It's very useful still, and I still have Baron, so I have to make sure that I use the Baron buff to push the bot wave in, because as you can see right here as well, this guy has Baron, and this guy has Baron, so we're pushing top, mid, and bot at the same time with Baron buff, and that's why I couldn't really back there, that's why I didn't want to back there. So we keep walking upwards here. Here, charge my Q, and this is pretty much where the zone charging starts. Just right here. Alright, that's Bard ult down. All we have to do is really just chill here. I'm not sure why the Gangplank isn't mid lane, to be honest, because he's literally just giving Kassadin a free push. We could have had Baron in every lane. We could have easily 1-1-3'd this, but hey. I barely missed my Q onto the Jax there, which was pretty bad. I decided to ult the Bard there. I'm not sure why I did that, to be honest. That was not a good ultimate at all. That's like the type of stuff you don't use your ultimate for, really. Don't use it like that. That's a weird ultimate. Now right here, as you just saw, I started charging my Q again for zoning potential. And right here, I just started using it again for zoning potential. As you can see, with a charged Q like this, they have to back off. If they walk up closer to me whilst I'm charging my Q like that, they are guaranteed to either die or lose like half or 3/4 of their HP bar. So they can't do anything right there. And that's just all that matters. At that point, all you have to do is let Trist hit the turret and you're good. Now Gangplank stays up way too long here, which is kind of unfortunate, but I guess we go back into this fight either way. Now that's the way you want to use your ultimate. So right here again, just real quickly backtracking, go back to myself. Right here, I'm just pinging my ultimate to my team, as you can see in the chat right there. He gets kind of caught, then the Jax goes in, he starts using his dodge, so I use as much damage to him as possible, and then I ult him when he wants to get out. And as soon as he like jumps to someone else, then you can use your ultimate that way to also hit the other dude, and then do a lot of damage to like all targets right there. If you're in team fights, by the way, you have to remember that Vi ult hunts one person down, but also knocks everything to the side and deals damage to everything that you knock to the side as well. So if you're looking for a team fight Vi ultimate, always try to look for the guy that's more in the back lines. So maybe you want to like engage on like the front line with your Q, auto attack E. Engage like that, and then ult someone more further down the line, so you can hunt him down, but also split the entire team up, knock him to the side, deal a good amount of damage to them, and then that way you can easily do a lot of damage in team fights and be very impactful, because as soon as you land the ult on someone like that, after you use your initial burst combo, you can then ult, and then as soon as you land with your ultimate, you auto attack E, and maybe auto attack again, or if your Q is back off cooldown, you can Q again, and then you can one-shot that squishy target as well. So that's like team fight mechanics you can go for on Vi. And I think that's pretty much it. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit the thumbs up below. If you guys have any questions, make sure to ask them in the comments below as well. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet and you're looking for more guides like this, more videos like this, subscribe, you know, it's free. And yeah, that's pretty much it. See you guys in the next video. Bye!